most common questions that I get from teachers about using read alouds in the classroom is how to incorporate more of them into their school day. And the answer is pretty easy, but let me dive into it today. To incorporate more read alouds into your day, I recommend reading across the curriculum. Now, let's dive into exactly what that means. A few weeks ago, I talked about many of the benefits of reading aloud in the classroom. And one of those major benefits was how you can use picture books for any subject in the classroom. Not only does this allow you to use more picture books in the classroom, allow you to read aloud more, but it's going to help your students learn more about those specific topics that you're teaching in science, in social studies, and even in math. We can think of picture books as a bridge, as a way to connect our reading to all of those different subject areas. And read alouds, picture books are one of the most versatile tools, one of the most versatile resources that we can teach and use in our students' learning and use to help our students learn even more. Picture book read alouds allow us to bring together ideas, images, content, vocabulary, language, and even art in the minds of our young learners. Now, let's dive into how picture books can help in these individual subject areas that you're teaching in your classroom every day or almost every day. Let's start with math because that seems like the most difficult one to bring picture books into, but it can have so many benefits for your students. Using literature is one of the most inviting ways to get children involved in these mathematical skills that you're teaching. Stories offer students an array of possibilities when they are looking for solutions to these open-ended problems that they are being presented with. And when these mathematical concepts are contextualized in stories, the meaning of those concepts is carried through the story and helps students connect to it even more and engage them in what you're teaching. And it's really helpful, especially for those students who are struggling to grasp the material. By using read alouds, they can hear explanations and examples of these mathematical concepts and connect them to their own lives. And additionally, it really helps them build their vocabulary as they're learning to use these mathematical words and seeing them in print, hearing them being read aloud before they're even addressed in the lesson that you're teaching. So while it seems a little odd or a little different, read alouds can have a huge benefit for students when teaching math concepts. Now let's talk about science. Science is such a fun subject to bring picture books into. And some of those science subjects can be a little tricky for students, but by bringing in read alouds, you can really help them grasp the concepts. So when we're talking about science, we're talking about wonder and inquiry, and it really invites students to ask questions. And picture books really tickle the mind with new information and invite even more of those questions from your students. Gives them that opportunity to pause and think about the concept that you're teaching and see it maybe in a whole different way. It's a really great way to engage those students who might not enjoy science as much but love reading, or vice versa. It's a great way to get those students who love science more interested in reading, especially nonfiction texts. And there are so many books available to help you teach the different science skills that you're using in your classroom. And if you're interested in books on any topics, whether it's science, math, or social studies, let me know in the comments below and I can pull together a video with lists of books that you can read to teach the different skills that you're teaching in your classroom. So definitely let me know in the comments below if you are interested in books to teach the different subjects to teach across the curriculum. And the last area that I want to talk to you today about is using picture books in social studies. Now, this has become much more relevant, especially in the past few years, and some amazing picture books have come out to teach students about different concepts in social studies. We know that throughout history, storytelling has been the primary means of passing down what is important to us from generation to generation. It helps us develop a sense of where we come from, and it helps us to come to know ourselves in relation to others. And through stories, we start to understand the past and let us help shape the future which is so important to start, especially with young children. The social studies curriculum is so rich in opportunities to pull in picture books, to pull in stories, to help students connect with the skill that you are discussing, the concepts that you're teaching in social studies. Using picture books helps students better understand historical events, cultural perspectives, and even how societies function as a whole. And by using picture books that are written and illustrated by a variety of diverse authors and illustrators, we offer students different perspectives, different ways of seeing things outside of their own world. I always like that quote that says, "Books give us the chance to travel the world without leaving our chair," or something like that. But it applies here. You give your students that chance to explore the world and all of the different people that exist in our world without leaving the classroom. That's so important for them to have access to those different perspectives as they grow up. Now, using picture books throughout the curriculum shouldn't be thought of as one more thing that you need to do. It should be a thoughtful, planful, reflective, instructional act in your classroom, one that helps your students more. It brings things together. It bridges that gap between reading and the other subject areas. And it might sound overwhelming or tricky to find picture books and resources to go along with the skills that you're teaching. And I've had so many teachers come to me and say that they can't find picture books that they need to teach certain skills or the resources they need to help bring those books to life with their students. So that's why the Colorful Apple Book Club was founded. Every month, members receive 5 different interactive read-alouds to go along with the different subject areas and the skills that you're teaching in those areas. So each month you'll receive a lesson to go along with a picture book, one for reading, one for writing, one for social studies, one for science, and one for SEL or social emotional learning skills. Not only do I take the guesswork out of which books that you should be using to teach the skills, but I put together a whole lesson plan for you, including discussion questions and activity sheets and crafts and games and even task cards to help you really bring the subject, the topic that you're teaching about to life and help your students connect with it through picture book read-alouds. I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below so that you can come join us in the book club and really get going with using picture books across the curriculum. And as I mentioned before, if there are any specific subjects or skills that you're looking to teach and would like some book titles or book ideas for, leave me a question down in the comments below and I can definitely get that pulled together for you. I hope this video and these ideas were helpful for you and that you'll be able to use picture books throughout the day in your classroom and that it will really help your students connect and bridge all those concepts together. If the video was helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button down below because I'll be back next Sunday night with more read-alouds and picture book ideas that you can use in your classroom right away. Have a great week.